Avi Meyer's Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. It is election season. We hope you're getting your copy of Jewish Chicago, which is available throughout the entire. Well, it's actually in the Jewish neighborhoods throughout Cook County, which is a lot of them. And if you're not able to get it at a newsstand, if you go to aviworld.com, is in my name, AVY, you can read the entire thing, ads and all on the web. We specialize in judges. I especially enjoy interviewing judges compared to regular politicians. I have to use a lot less Q-tips, and they're a better breed of people, they're nicer people, and they're intelligent people. And it is a pleasure to introduce you to a sitting judge who is running for a spot on the appellate court, Susan Kennedy Sullivan. How are you?
I'm fine, and thank you very much for inviting me.
First of all, thank you, and I'm glad you could make it. And as a matter of fact, you come highly recommended. I know that Judge Kaplan, who was here earlier today, thinks very highly of you. And one of my very favorite judges, Marguerite Quinn, wanted to make sure that I got you on the show. And that's not all. There's other people too.
Well, thank you very much.
But you definitely have your share of fans.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us about your background?
Well, I actually grew up in Cook County.
Okay.
I went to college in Washington at Georgetown University, stayed on the East Coast, eventually got my graduate degree at New York University. My undergraduate degree was a BS and my major was nursing. And I practiced nursing for 20 years with a master's.
Wow.
Before I became a lawyer. And I stayed on the East Coast until 1984 with a little 3-year stint in London. But in 1984, I returned to the Chicago area and actually taught for 2 years at Loyola in their College of Nursing. And then I was in administration in the College of Nursing at University of Illinois, Chicago. And then I was in law school at night during that whole period, or at least at the UIC period of academics, and graduated from law school in 1994. And happily was able to combine my nursing background with my legal background.
Wow.
You might remember Judge Yates.
I've heard the name.
Well, Judge Yates was one of my teachers at DePaul, and he at one day said, there's a new area of law that's called elder law or something like that. The minute I heard it, I said to myself, that's the area of law I'm going to go into. And I hung my shingle. I think my experience with nursing and my credibility at the age I was, I guess, catapulted me into a position, and I had a very successful solo practice here in Chicago, in focusing primarily on elder law and mental health issues.
Wow, as a matter of fact, now that you mention it, I've heard you referred to as an expert on elder law.
Well, thank you.
So, okay, so how did you get to the bench?
I ran countywide in 2010 and won my election, and like many judges, I started out in traffic court, and my chief learned that I had an elder law expertise, and there's a new division, the elder law division, and I'm now duly appointed to that division as well as traffic.
Wow. So what kind of cases do you hear in elder law?
None yet, I have to confess. Even though I've been duly appointed there for 2 years, there haven't been any cases per se.
Wow.
I think the formulation of exactly what type of case is going to be going up to that division is still in progress.
Interesting. So you're countywide. You campaigned before. This is not the first time.
That's right. That's right.
You're hitting all the different events and things?
Well, running for the appellate court is actually a little bit different in one sense, that it isn't quite the massive numbers of people moving around the way the judicial races are, particularly countywide judicial races. So I've made what I can in the way of events. I think the truth is that I came in a little bit late. I got my petitions done, thankfully, and there were enough of them that I got through that process, but I came into the race a little late, so I'm a little behind getting the word out.
Okay. I mean, do you make a point to go to nightly events or
Oh,
things
yes.
like that?
Almost every night I'm out doing something, such as tonight.
No, definitely. I see that, and this is in the snow and the and the horrid weather and all the rest of it. I would imagine you've got a website.
I do. Kennedy Sullivan for Appellate.
Kennedy Sullivan for Appellate.com.
Yes, .com, sorry, yes.
Okay, very important. And there's contact information and stuff on the website?
Yes, there is.
And I assume people can check your whole background and all the
Yes,
rest?
yes.
And if people want, a speaker at an engagement or anything like that?
Absolutely, I'd be happy. Of course, the funny thing about being a judge is you can't give legal advice, but I could certainly talk about the realities of being on the bench, and I even have elderly issues that come up in traffic court because, as you might imagine,
Wow.
there are people that are older that have vision problems, hearing problems, and driving problems, for example. And I actually am called down from time to time by my colleagues to help in sorting out a particular circumstance that involves an older person.
Interesting. That's interesting. I've learned so much today about, different people and what they hear in traffic court that I never would have thought of before.
Yeah, really. I mean, people could kind of poo-poo it, but frankly, if you can imagine, we have tremendous volume in traffic court. We rotate after Gaylord. There was a requirement, really, by the structure of the court system that we avoid staying in the same room any 2 days in a row to avoid any potential problem. So we rotate, so we're in petty rooms, we're in DUI rooms, we're in driving on a suspended or revoked room, and they're serious things. Not only do you have volumes of people, but these people might lose their livelihood because they can't drive. They might have had a prior DUI and they're going to be serving jail time. I mean, these are real serious issues.
Now, it sounds like it. So the website again, Kennedy Sullivan
For Appellate.
Appellate.com.
Right.
Susan Kennedy Sullivan, I want to thank you so much for being here, and I
thank
want to
you
wish you good luck in your campaign.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Okay.